This book is from my neighbor, so I'll say thank you to her first and then read. The title is Down and Out, Down Under. It all began with a phone call. I'll admit it, I'm a bit a fraidy mouse, but does that stop me from loving adventure? No way! This rodent is up for anything. Well, maybe not anything. I'll get sick on planes, boats, and when I walk too fast. Still, my last adventure was super exciting. It all began with a phone call. It was at my office. Oops, I almost forgot to introduce myself. My name is Stilton. Geronimo Stilton. I'm the publisher of the most famous newspaper on Mouse Island, the Rodent Gazette. Anyway, the day the phone rang, "Hello, Stilton here." "Hello, Stilton here." Geronimo Stilton, I answered. A female voice giggled sweetly on the other side. "Hi, G. What's speaking?" "Squeaking," she asked. My snout broke into a broad grin. It was my fascinating friend Petunia Pretty Paws. She is a famous TV reporter. Petunia has dedicated her life to saving the environment. What a sweet mouse! "Hi, Petunia, I blabbered. Oh, why did I turn such a fool every time I talk to Petunia? She's an amazing mouse. I watch her on TV shows every night. I have a huge crush on her for the longest time. Too bad I can't even scamper in a sight line when I'm around her. Still, Petunia is nice that she never makes fun of me." "Listen, G, I've got an idea," she said. "Now are you sitting down?" I dropped one arm of my chair. "Yes, I'm not standing. I'm in my chair. Sitting. Check." I rambled. I clamped my paw over my mouth. Before Petunia decided to check on me, the mouse centered. "I need your help on my latest assignment," Petunia called. "We must make a date." I chewed my whiskers. I love getting together with Petunia, but I hadn't had much fur cut in my weeks. I need to make an appointment at Clip Rat Salon and day spa right away, and I couldn't use a sharp new suit. I started down at the button, straightening on my jacket. I didn't want Petunia to think I was turning into an out-of-shape furball. "How about next Tuesday, I suggested. Petunia giggled. "I have a better idea," she squeaked. "But first, open the window behind your desk. It's always so stuffy in your office, isn't it?" I scratched my head. I wasn't sure why Petunia interested in climate control, but I did what she was asked to. I never said no to Petunia. I opened my window. A fresh breeze tickled my whisper. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. My yoga teacher was right. Deep breathing is so wonderful. I felt so refreshed, so energizing, so completely knocked out. You see, before I could say squeak, a blonde rodent had parachuted in through my window and kicked me right in the snout. I crumpled like a chewy Cheeto wrapper just before I fainted. I noticed three things. A mouse had shocking blue eyes, a hot pink jumpsuit, and a fearless on her face. Petunia Pretty Paws had landed. I woke up stammering. "Who am I? Where am I? What day is it? What time is it? What for breakfast? What time for lunch? What's for dinner? I want my mommy!" Just then somebody slapped me hard on the face. "Gee, are you okay?" "Geronimo, snap out of it," a voice instructed. I held up my paw. "Please stop it. Stop slapping me," I begged. I opened my eyes. Petunia Pretty Paws were staring down at me. A look of concern filled her stunning blue eyes. "I'm sorry if I hurt you, G," she squeaked. "I was worried you were whining and crying out for your mommy." I groaned. "How embarrassing. Why did I always have to look such a wimp in front of Petunia? And flip my tail behind my back. I'm trying to look cool. It hit my desk with a snaking thud. I whimpered in pain. So much for the Mako mouse out. Meanwhile, Petunia was busy taking off her parachute. She was wearing her trademark pink shirt, jean, and brown belt. An amber necklace hung around her neck. Petunia loved amber gemstones. She collected them on her adventures around the world. Just then I had an idea. Not just any idea, a fabulous idea. Maybe I could buy a Petunia with an amber gemstone on it. Then she'll surely know how much I liked her. I twisted from my skirts deep in thought. Maybe I could buy a ring. Maybe that was a little too romantic. I should probably stick with something with an amber fur comb. Or maybe a cheese knife. What a mouse would like a beautiful cheese knife? I was still thinking about cheese when Petunia grabbed my palm. Guess what, G? I brought along a little surprise, she squeaked. I go, surprise? I stammered. Last time Petunia surprised me, I almost died of fright. She was doing a deadly tornado and had asked me to come along. We ended up chasing the humongous twister. I was so scared, I cried like a baby hamster the entire trip. Petunia grinned. Step aside, G. You're about to see Wolfgang Wild Paws. He shook Wolfie for short. She announced. I shook my head. Petunia had a brother? Before I could move, I heard a loud whoosh behind me. 2 seconds later, a muscular mouse with brown fur parachuted through the window. This time, I was struck by the rodent's piercing black eyes, watermelon-sized muscles, and blue steel-toed parachute boots. Yep, those boots took me square on the head. Once again, I was out like a light. Wolfgang Wild Paws had landed. When I woke up, the muscular-bound parachuter was pinching my tail hard. Are you okay there, buddy? He shrieked. Come on, wake up and smell the cheese, I blinked. My tail was throbbing. My ears were ringing, and I was getting a giant mouse-sized headache. I'd be better. I managed to stammer. If you let go of my tail, the mouse chuckled. Oops, guess I don't know my own strength. Just then, Petunia rushed over. Gee, I'd like you to meet my brother, Wolfgang Wildpaws, she said. We call him Wolfie. The big mouse grabbed my paw and shook it. My bones crunched. I wondered if I'd ever ride again. We have an exciting invitation, Wolfie announced. We're going to Australia and we want you to come along. You can report our efforts to save the Australian wildlife and protect the land. I chewed my whisker. Did he say wildlife? I wasn't big on furious animals. I tried to explain that. I was very busy, in fact. I was in the middle of writing a new book. I had just come up with an idea before I could go on. Petunia grabbed my paw. Perfect, G. This trip will give you tons of ideas. She shrieked. I opened my mouth wide to protest, and suddenly Wolfie flung open the door to my office and ran out. Attention! Attention! He squeaked at the top of his lungs. Mr. Stilton is leaving today for Australia. He will be back in a month, or 2, or 3, or 10. Who knows? He may even decide to give up papers for a more adventurous lifestyle. I mean, who wants to work in a stuffy old office? No fresh air, no birds chirping, no warm sun on your fur. I glanced around. My employees were beginning to look upset. Stuffy! I heard someone mumble. No sun, another idiot. I wanted to strangle a wolf fire. Everyone looked like they wanted to quit. I had to think fast. First, I explained that I was not leaving the paper. And then I promised that everyone worker was a weekend gift certificate to the Restful Rodent. Have you ever been there? It's my favorite spa. I closed my eyes. How I wish I was at the Restful Rodent right now. I was still dreaming about the spa when 2 paws grabbed me. My eyes opened wide. Wolfie was on inside me. Petunia was on the other. No time to sleep, G. Petunia squeaked, smiling at me. We leave immediately. I tried to squeak, wait! But it was too late. Before I knew what was happening, I can't see a thing. Out on the sidewalk, I noticed Petunia staring at my face intently. Oh, rats. Had I sprouted a pimple? But Petunia wasn't looking at my face. She was looking at my glasses. Do you really need those glasses, G? Why don't you try taking them off? It's sort of hard to bungee jump and skydive when you're wearing glasses, you know. I didn't want Petunia to think I was a wimp. But bungee jumping and skydiving weren't on my list things to do. Did I mention I'm afraid of heights? I started to explain how much I needed my glasses. Too bad Petunia wasn't listening. Before I knew it, she'd have ripped them out of my snout. I squeaked in protest. Everything had gone blurry. Get them back, I shrieked, running around in circles. You don't understand. I can't see a thing. I wasn't lying. I couldn't see my own paw in front of my face. I felt like one of those three blind mouse. You can't see me? Petunia giggled and nodded at a blurry blob I guess was my friend. Don't worry, G, she said in a smoothing voice. I got a great idea. I twisted my tail up in a knot. Sometimes Petunia's great ideas turned into my biggest nightmares. Petunia and Wolfie took me to the eye doctor. He gave me an eye exam by having me read different letters from a large chart. The letters were bigger at the top and got smaller towards the bottom. The doctor was very nice. You're quite nearsighted, but with the right pair of contact lenses, you'll see perfectly. He took out 2 small cases. Inside were 2 tiny clear objects. He handed them to me. Here are your contact lenses. These will be just right for you. Put them on, he squeaked. Put them in my eyes? I was starting to feel queasy. It's easy, the doctor insisted. Just open your eyes wide and place the lens on your pupil. Simple as cheese pie. I opened my eyes wide. I put the lens on my pupil. Nothing happened. That's because the lens had fallen on the floor. I searched everywhere for it. When finally I found it, I cleaned it with a special liquid. Then I tried again. This time I poked myself right in the eye. Ouch! I screamed. Try again, the doctor insisted. It's easy. I chewed my whiskers if the doctor said easy one more time. I just might strangle him. I took a deep breath. You can do it, Geronimo, I told myself. And a minute later, I had done it. I blinked a few times. It was amazing. I can see even better than when I was wearing my glasses, I squeaked. A minute later, I had been ready to choke my doctor. Now I shook his paw. Thanks, Doc, I grinned. I wasn't really ready to throw out my glasses just yet. Still, the doctor was right. Putting in contact lenses it was easy. Well, with a little practice, of course. A pair of very tight jeans. Petunia and Wolfie walked me home, holding onto my paw. They didn't have to worry. I only tripped twice. And it wasn't because of my new contacts. My sister says I have 2 left paws. When we got inside, Petunia told me I needed to pack clothes right away. Wolfie pointed to my clothes. You're not going to wear that, are you? He asked in a horrified tone. I stared down at my suit. What was wrong with it? It was one of my favorites, and the tie was represent my dear Aunt Sweet Fur. Do you have a pair of jeans? Petunia asked gently. I nodded. I knew I had a pair somewhere. Of course, I hadn't worn them in a million years. I dug through my dressers, my closet, and looked under my bed. They got to be here somewhere, I muttered. Finally, I found a pair. The only problem was I couldn't fit into them. The jeans are not too tight. I cried. Or maybe you ate too many double checker cheese sandwiches, Wolfie said in a smirk. I forced myself to ignore him. So I liked drink a few mozzarella milkshakes night. So what? It wasn't against the law. I gripped my jeans with determination and I held my bit and zipped it. Wow, G, you look sick tight. Are you sure they're comfortable? Petunia asked. I splattered a smile on my face. Ahem, certainly I feel great. I choked. Breathing is overrated. I chanted softly to myself. Then I realized I heard my tummy rumble. I realized I was starving. I scarfed down 3 cheddar sandwiches in the blink of an eye. After I was done, I was ready to burst. I had to get out of the jeans. There were only one problem. They were stuck to me like glue. Petunia leaped into action. She grabbed another sandwich. Eat it, she ordered. I opened my mouth to complain. Wrong move. Quick as a cat, Petunia shoved the sandwich down my throat. A minute later, the zipper on the jean burst open, began popping off my shirt in every direction. I couldn't move. I could breathe. I was saved. Where are you going, Geronimo? As the last button popped, my doorbell rang. I opened the door. It was my family. Their jaws dropped when they saw my suitcases. Where are you going, Geronimo? They asked in unison. My cousin Tramp pointed to my split jeans. Huge mister, she said, smirking. My grandfather William put his paw on the air for silence. Quiet, everyone, he thundered. I want an explanation, grandson. What is I hear for you about selling the newspaper? Had the cheese slipped off your cracker? I tried to explain. Don't worry, everyone. Everything is okay. I'm not leaving the newspaper. I'm just going on a short trip to Australia with my friend Petunia Pretty Paws and her brother Wolfie. I asked. Australia? Trap squeaked. Wolfie? Grandfather William exploded. What kind of name is Wolfie? Wolfie gave my grandfather a shoulder-breaking slap on his back. It's sort of short for Wolfgang, Grandpappy. Or should I call you Pops? He chuckled. I winced. Steam poured out of Grandfather William's ears. He looked like he was ready to explode. No one messes with Grandfather William and gets away with it. Pretty cheese puffs. If my family didn't leave soon, things could get ugly. I thanked everyone for coming and pushed them out to my door. My family was still in sight when Petunia appeared before me with a new pair of jeans. They're Wolfie, she explained. Put them on. Then we're out of here. 10 minutes later, we arrived at the airport. This is the end of this video. Bye.